All right, let's get started. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Zach the Jedi Otaku. We're going to watch another episode of RWBY, RWBY. This time we're watching Volume 3, Chapter 4, Lessons Learned. Last chapter, we got to see Crow and Winter, Ruby's uncle and Wise's sister. And we definitely know that there's a lot of back history between those two, along with Ironwood, Glenda, and Ospen. I think the next episode is we're gonna start seeing the 2-on-2 battles for the Veil Festival, and I'm excited to watch it. And we're back on track. You're gonna start seeing a lot more RWBY for RWBY Tuesdays. If Andy is able to come in, he'll come in. If not, it'll just be me and you guys. All right, so let's just get into it. Ready, play. You're gonna climb up the tower. Ospen's clock tower. I'm always interested in Ospen's clock tower. All the Ospen and Crow. Yang has done it too, and so has RWBY. All these things that deal with clock pieces or gears, watches, gear, clock. We see that on, oh shit, that was Crow and Yang's mom, or the red woman. Are they on a team? I didn't see the teams. Okay. Crow was with Yang's mom. Are we gonna see more of her this season? I'm sure we are. All right, let's get into it. Who's our 2-on-2? All right, Mercury and Emerald. Purse Girl. Bunny Girl. Oh, we get 4 different land types this time. Then the 101s are going to be all 8. That'll be interesting. I like that.
Hey. Love the outfit, kid.
I'll try not to get blood on it.
I can't promise you'll leave without a scratch.
I won't be the one bleeding.
Oh, I like her.
3, 2, 1.
Team Coffee. Let's go. They're going to hide. Okay. Draman. Or take out the entire arena. Oh, look, she's got her fan crew. Wasting her bullets? Or are they already on the other side? Everyone is focused in on that section, so they're going to come out from a different side. Nice. Oh, I never realized he's got stuff in his shoes to shoot. That's his weapon, is his feet. I wonder what they based his style of fighting off of. Ooh. Bet him and Sun would have a good fight against each other. They seem like they'd be similar styled fighters. Huh. A lot of footwork. It looks like it's kind of based off of Taekwondo. Yeah, she's in the trees. The butterfly kick. We know that Yang is a bad fighter against foot fight. You know, she's more of a hand-to-hand, and Mercury over here is a foot fighter, so she might have some trouble if they ever got teamed against each other. Ooh. She lost her sunglasses. Oh, shit's about to get real.
I don't like her.
Tree is her element. Interesting. Kind of Spider-Man along with the praying mantis.
What?
Oh, fuck. Can Emerald produce illusions, or is that Mercury's power? It seemed like that was like a smoky, something smoky, so she might be able to manipulate the smoke? Interesting. Got chains, very ninja-like, with changing the sai into a gun, is also being the same time being the whip chain. That's a very ninjutsu type of weaponry.
You're leaving?
Yes. I was merely needed to oversee the transport of additional units to Vale. Our last shipment was lost to an ambush. I believe you had a run-in with its cargo, actually. It's fortunate those paladins were still in the prototype stage. Otherwise, your team may not have fared so well. Weiss, you've done well out here on your own. You should be proud. I'll be honest, it was quite amusing seeing Father's face the day you left for Beacon.
I can't wait to show him what I've learned.
Oh? And what do you think you've learned?
What do you mean? I'm getting better and better with my glyphs. I've even started time dilation.
And what of your summoning?
Ooh.
You know I can't.
Don't be ridiculous. Every Schnee has the ability to summon. We have for generations.
Summoning.
I've tried. It's the one thing I'm having trouble with.
We Schnees are unique. Unlike many, our semblance is hereditary. But that doesn't
hereditary.
mean it will come easily. Your semblance is like a muscle. The more you practice with it, the stronger it will become. But if you only focus on one aspect of it, if you fail to test the limits of what you think is possible,
Oh, that's fucking so cool!
then you'll never truly grow.
Wow.
You're nothing but talk, kid.
You can do it, RWBY!
Yeah!
Wins. Total annihilation.
By
I
the
love
way,
that.
don't ever call me old.
My turn.
New challenger approaching.
Where was I?
You were telling us about your last mission.
Right. I'd come across a small village in the swamps west of Mistral. Right off the bat, I knew something wasn't right.
What were you doing
Telling
there?
stories.
I needed information. Tired from battling Grimm along the way, I decided to start my search at the town's inn. The place was crawling with lowlifes and thugs, even a few huntsmen that I could only assume had been hired by less than reputable people for less than respectable jobs. And that's when it happened.
What happened?
I was defeated.
What?
Mere sight of the innkeeper's skirt length.
Ha!
Annihilation.
You are the worst!
Best 2 out of 3.
So, Uncle Crow, did you get in trouble with Ozpin?
Nah, me and Oz go way back. We're cool.
Cool for an old guy.
Not funny.
Hey, so what are you doing here anyway? I thought Dad said you'd be away on a mission for, like, ever.
Well, a professional huntsman like myself is expected to get results as soon as possible.
Yeah, I get that. We're pretty much pros, too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, read the news sometime. We totally saved Vale while you were gone.
Funny. Because I heard Vale suffered a grim attack after you almost managed to stop a train. But they don't give out medals for almost.
They do, and they're called silver.
Well, we helped take down.
Hmm.
He's locked up in Ironwood's ship, and crime's been down ever since. That's basically a bounty mission.
Sure, you may be acting like huntresses, but you're not thinking like one. You really think 4 girls and their friends could end all crime in the kingdom?
I mean, I did until you said that.
Violence hasn't dropped since Roman got nabbed. It's stopped. Completely. No White Fang activity anywhere around the city. You cut off the head of a King Taijitu, but now the second head's calling the shots. That's what Ironwood can't get through that thick metal head of his.
You know the general?
Hey, I know everybody to some extent. Remember, you're talking to a member of the coolest team to ever graduate Beacon. Team Stark.
Team Stark.
I met your parents. We were pretty well known back in the day.
Well known for crummy fashion sense.
Hey, we looked good. And I have a number of inappropriate stories that'll back that up. But I'll save those for when you're older.
Ugh, gross.
Anyway, I'm too old to be hanging out with a bunch of kids. You're gonna cramp my style. Look, just remember that you've still got a long way to go. And don't think for a second that graduating means you're done. Every day out there is worth a week in this place. You two, you're gonna go far. But only if you keep learning. If you never stop moving forward.
Excellent form. Now think to your fallen foes, the ones that forced you to push yourself past who you were and become who you are now. Think of them and watch as they come to your side.
I can't.
Stop doubting yourself.
I'm trying.
If this is what you call trying, then you have no hope of winning the tournament, let alone succeeding as a huntress. Why don't you just move back home? I'm sure Father will give you a nice job as a receptionist.
I don't need his charity.
But you do need his money, don't you?
What? How did you know about that?
Lucky guess. I may have been in a similar situation when I joined the military. So what have you done this time?
Well, that's the
Interesting.
thing. I'm really not sure. I went to pay for lunch the other day, but my card didn't work.
How embarrassing.
I know! Well, it was. Why would he cut me off like that?
Perhaps so you'd stop avoiding him and call home. Emotions can grant you strength, but you must never let them overpower you. It sounds to me like you have 2 choices in front of you. You can either call him, beg for his money back, and explain once more why you want to study at Beacon over Atlas. Or you could continue to explore Remnant, discovering more about the world and, honestly, more about yourself. It's time for me to go.
It was really good to see you, Winter.
Until next time, sister.
I have many thoughts right now. She summoned something. What did she summon? Was that like a little knife she summoned? Cool. All right. That was actually a lot more intense and in-depth than I was originally thinking about it. One of the things that I've been noticing, and I know that there is a greater meaning behind it, is the gears. I keep seeing gears. We have Ospin's table has all the gears. It looks like he's in a watchtower, and you can see all the gears moving on the table. Then we also have the gear that is Crow's symbol to a degree that's on Ruby's scythe that Yang wrote on the board when she was having the conversation with Blake in the last volume, and also on Crow's sword. So I'm interested to see more about what the significance is behind the watch gears. I like how on the 2-on-2 fights we're getting now 4 types of terrain versus on the 4-on-4 we had only 2 types, which tells me that when we have the 1-on-1 fights we're going to get like 8 different types of terrains. And I like that adds that unpredictability to it, making that anything that the fighters had watched their opponents do in previous rounds, now that since the environment has changed, some of that learning that they had been able to get is negated. So it makes things a little bit more even playing field when they keep changing up the way that the tournament is played, and how the rules change and the environment changes. So I like how there's that complexity to the tournament. Something that I was noticing was Mercury's semblance, and they haven't really showed what it is or talked about it, but it seems like it was something to do with clouds or illusions. I thought that was interesting. There's something going on in that aspect that I was enjoying. I also really liked how much of his type of fighting. I know I've said that before in the chapter where Pyrrha fought Mercury and figured out that her semblance was magnetism or polarity. And I like that he's a footwork and a kicking type of guy. I'm really interested to find out what his fighting style is based off of. I myself am a martial artist, so I've done Taekwondo. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, and I've done some Judo and Jiu-Jitsu and a couple other different styles, just very kind of meekly, not too intense. But it seemed like his type of kicking was based off of a combination of Taekwondo and a little bit of Capoeira, with his movements and the way that he used his feet. So I'm very curious to find out more about that. I liked how Emerald's weaponry is kind of based off of the idea of a ninja. Her praying mantis, things are really more of the scythe, and then the chain that ninjas, when they first started to come about during the era of the samurai. And I like that her weapon is really inspired by the ninja weapons and that all that was happening around ninjas and that. So I thought that was cool. I like that both of them have that their mindset for fighting is divert attention, divide and conquer, rather than full-on out brawls, which it seemed like Team Coffee is more used to. And I think that's interesting for all of the hunters and huntresses, is that they're designed, the way that they're trained is to combat against Grimm, creatures that, for the majority of them, don't have intelligence, don't have strategy, they don't think about that kind of stuff. So the normal teams are in a bit of a disadvantage compared to Crimson's team, because they're all bad guys. They're used to underhanded tactics and guerrilla warfare style attacks. So it really does a lot to unhinge and throw off their opponents. We learned a bunch of information in the second half of the episode, where we know that the paladins are only prototypes right now, and that violence has completely stopped in the city of Vale, meaning that it's like the calm before the storm. In addition to Wise's semblance, her glyphs being a hereditary, so that means that like Winter, she has it, and I don't know if it's the mother or the father that also has it in their family. I really love that change of aspect that they gave us with the time dilation is really good, that Wise has, but there's also another aspect of summoning or crafting through your mind, which was interesting because I didn't think about that in the last episode when Winter had sent all of those summoned fish at Crow during their fight. So now they bring it back to that and give some definition and understanding to the different aspects of the glyph ability, which is really cool. I love the difference between the two families, between the Schnee family and the Yang and Ruby's family with Crow. They have different last names, I believe, and how the interactions of Crow and Winter to their not subordinates, but to the new up and comers, to the students. Whereas, so there's like 3 levels. There's the teacher level, there's the professional level, and then the student level. And it's interesting that we could say that Crow and Winter are the pros in this environment. They are pro hunters and huntresses versus the teachers and the students. So this episode really is the pros teaching the students rather than the teachers. So you get someone who has real life experience doing the job that they're all being trained for and showing the different ways that each of the pros would go about training the students, which I thought was very interesting. And it also tells us a lot about their personalities, whereas Winter is very much like very forward, very formal about Wise's training, but also she wants to know more about Wise and what's going on in her life and helping train her in her abilities. And there's a little bit of family pride there, but also the understanding that Winter has gone through a lot of the shit that Wise is going through right now, especially with their father and the training with the glyphs. So I thought that was cool, and I loved how when we switched to the Crow and Ruby and Yang, it was like the complete opposite. It's them hanging out, playing video games, but at the same time, Crow used that as his way of conveying very important messages, very important learning to Ruby and Yang. And I thought that was very interesting, that the way they do it. And I love the change in style, the animation style. I loved how the animation style changed when we were learning about Crow's last mission. And I love the whole thing where he's lecherous. He's a little bit of a lecher. So I actually really feel for Crow's style of teaching and Crow's relaxed attitude and the way he goes about getting people. And we finally got to learn about his team, Team Stark. And Yang's expression when she saw the woman in red, just like, oh my god, who is this? How is there this connection? And I like how Crow said, I know everyone to a certain degree. I've been around longer. I'm a professional hunter. I like that. I don't have much else to talk about. I think that was it from this episode. Next episode, we'll probably continue on with the fights and seeing more of that and getting back into the nitty-gritty with the 4 main girls rather than some of these side characters that we're learning more about. They've been introduced over the last 2 episodes, and now they both have gone away, giving us more information, and now we're going to head back into the main storyline. So I'm excited for that on the next episode. So like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know what you guys thought of my reaction and my review. And as always, Jedi Otaku, out.